Welcome to the City of Chicago Department of Business Affairs and Consumer Protection webinar. We have adapted our regular business education workshops at City Hall into these webinars until further notice. Please note any website or email that I mention will be posted in the chat box. All BACP offices are open to limited members of the public. Masks are required in all BACP facilities. For those seeking business licensing assistance, we strongly encourage the processing of licenses and permits online. Business licenses can be applied for or renewed online at chicagobusinessdirect.org, or you can call 312-74-GO-BIZ. If you are part of the BACP Entrepreneur Certificate Program, you can get credit for joining this webinar by sending an email to bacpoutreach@cityofchicago.org. If you want to learn about this program, please visit chicago.gov/businesseducation. Also, this webinar is being recorded and will be available at youtube.com/ChicagoBACP. I will post the mentioned information in the chat box. We encourage attendees to ask questions. Please use the chat box and send your questions to all panelists. There will be a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. Today's webinar will be how to increase sales and leads using Facebook, presented by ChiSouth Marketing. Stephanie, turning it over to you.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. It's nice to be here again. I love giving presentations for BACP. So I'm very excited to give this new presentation called How to Increase Sales and Leads Using Facebook. As stated, my name is Stephanie Walters. I'm the Chief Marketing Strategist at ChiSouth Marketing, formerly Blue Top Marketing. And I am also the author of a book called Six-Figure Marketing Blueprint, 8 proven tactics small business owners can use to generate up to $200,000 in under 2 years. And you can find that online. And what's pretty interesting about my story throughout the years is that it all started when I was 13 years old. I didn't know I was an entrepreneur, but at 13, my dad wanted me to cut the grass because he didn't have time to do it, and he was willing to pay me $10 to do it. And then I learned that if I water the grass, I can mow the yard twice a week, which brought me up to $20 a week, which is pretty cool for a 13-year-old back in whichever year you choose. I'm not going to tell you the year. And then I kept watering the grass, and he topped out at $30 a week. But it gave me a lot of insight, and it was great education on how to run a business, keep a customer, and everything else. So I've used that information between that so-called kiddie business throughout all of the other businesses that I have owned. And so today we're going to talk about how to use Facebook. And so the question I always receive is that, or I'm always asked is, why Facebook? Why do I need Facebook for my business? And the numbers are the numbers. When it comes to running your business and marketing your business, it's all about the numbers. It's not about your feelings. It's not about your opinions. It's all about the numbers. And the numbers show that most, if not all, businesses should have at least a presence on the platform. As you'll see in the second bullet point, 63% of the US population uses Facebook, and 74% of those users are between the age of 35 and 54. And so, which is an age group that generally has the income to spend on your product or service. Facebook reaches 59% of social media users, and 78% of the US users discovered retail products to buy on Facebook. And I am one of those people that when an ad comes up, and if it's something that I think I need, then I will go ahead and buy it. A perfect example would be emergency lights for my car. So my car, we break down on the road. We spend a lot of time on Interstate 80, and we break down on the road, especially at night. Now I can have emergency lights. I'm not gonna tell you how much I spent on them, but it was more than $20, and it was all because of an ad I saw on Facebook. Compelling copy, compelling video, and I went ahead and purchased it. And then the biggest thing is that biggest or most important number you should know is that a little over 98% access via a mobile device. And that number has just been growing over the years of its existence. And so the question really becomes, why not Facebook? Even if you're not going to put a lot of resources into the posting of it, you cannot deny the advertising arm of it. And so between the two, we're going to talk about how you can use that to increase leads and sales. So here are the top 3 benefits I feel you will see using Facebook. One is that you reach the largest online communities through the pages, groups, and events. When it comes to the pages, of course, that's your business page. And so you would have regular postings happening there. Groups, you can have a standalone group, or you can connect it or you can connect it to your Facebook business page if they're related. And you can run events that can also connect into groups, which connect into pages. The really nice thing about events is that instead of posting text with an image of a flyer and hopefully a link to the event registration, if you actually create a Facebook event and you invite people from your friend list, Facebook will take care of the notifications from there. So they'll get the notification that you invited them to the event. They will remind them that the event is coming up 1 to 2 days before the event, and then they'll remind them again the day of the event. And so that is something that Facebook is not going to charge you to do. The robot automatically does it. So it is to your advantage if you are having some type of event, then go ahead and create the registration somewhere like an Eventbrite, but also use Facebook to promote the event. The second one is that Facebook now has the Google-like search feature. As you see at the top, if you're looking at it from a desktop or a laptop, there's that search bar up top. And for the last few years, you can now put in there, instead of going to Google saying pizza near me, you can now do pizza near me in Facebook, and it'll show you all of the pizza places within 5 miles of your location. 9 times out of 10, you're doing it from your phone. And so the location services is telling the Facebook robot where you are, and the Facebook robot is going to pull the pages of pizza places within 5 miles of your location. Which gets back to the point of, this is why it's a really good idea to have a business page fully filled out on the platform, because the robot is going to do that for you. And then third, communicate with prospects and customers, which is through Messenger. Now there's the person-to-person side of Messenger, the chat Messenger side, and then there's Messenger that's attached to your Facebook business page. A number of people are going to, if they have a question, they're not necessarily going to call you on the phone, and they may not want to send you an email. But if they're familiar with Facebook and they see that on your page, they can contact you through Messenger, that's exactly what they're going to do. And so this is a great way to run your customer service through Facebook using their platform. And at the end of the day, we all want to increase brand awareness and promote positive word of mouth. And that is the ultimate goal as far as using the platform. So the next question, once I've convinced you that you need Facebook in your life, what should you post? And so there's two types of content. There's your own content, and then there's curated content. When it comes to your own content, if you're having trouble coming up with ideas, to really get the creative juices going, you can think about what are some questions people always ask about a particular product or service or your business in general. You can turn those into posts. They don't necessarily need to be the actual question, but your answering of the question can be an actual post. If you are blogging on your website, continue to blog on your website and share that information over to Facebook. The entire blog wouldn't be posted on Facebook, but a little teaser about what the blog is about would be on Facebook with a link back to the blog on your website. If you are creating email newsletters once or twice a month, chunk up the information that you're using for the newsletter and use those as posts throughout the month on the platform. Definitely any tips that you have for people, if you're always giving out advice and tips related to your business or product, you can turn those into posts as well. And then video snippets. People love video. And so being able to do short little video snippets would be great to promote your products or services, or even if you're having a sale that's coming up or anything like that, video snippets are great. I will tell you that Facebook will want you to have a 3-minute video. Just know that people are undiagnosed ADHD, so they may not make it to 3 minutes. But as far as the robot is concerned, they prefer 3 minutes, and they will organically help promote that video out for you. So keep that in mind. When it comes to curated content, this is content that you did not create, but you've gathered the information and you're going to use it as posts on the platform. So, it would be a compliment to your business. If you're a realtor, then a compliment would be electricians and plumbers and contractors. If you are a salon, it could be, if you're a 100% hair salon, a compliment could be a spa business, or something wellness. Those two things often go together. You can look at online articles that are related or within your industry that provide information but will not move them away from you as far as competition is concerned. And then, of course, you could do motivational and inspirational quotes, and then holidays. There's the traditional holidays that we know, and then there are weird and fun holidays. And there's a holiday every day, literally every day, that you probably never heard of, but there's a holiday out there. And so you can look up different places for traditional or weird and fun holidays, and you'll find out there are awareness months, there are awareness weeks, and then there are dates. And you can pick and choose those that are related to your business. And the general rule that I use when it comes to promoting, either on my own or for my clients, is that it should be 80% educational, motivational, inspirational, that kind of non-salesy ishness, and then 20% promotional. People want to be a part of something and they want resources. And if you're always selling, then they're going to get bored with your page and start ignoring. And once they start ignoring your page, then you're going to lose the engagement between the likes and shares and everything else. So just keep in mind that people want to be a part of something and they want resources. So if you can follow the 80-20 rule when it comes to posting, you'll pretty much be set. So let's take it a step further. So now you have your business page, you filled it out, you have all of the fields filled in, you're now posting your own content and curated content. You understand the importance of the platform. So now let's take it up a notch as far as amplifying your message. And so the first thing is to make sure that you connect to your Instagram account. One, your Instagram account needs to become a business Instagram account. And once you either create that or you switch your personal over to a business Instagram account, you will be able to then connect that account to your Facebook business page. And once they are connected, you will have the ability to, if you like to post on Instagram more than Facebook, you will have the ability to post on Instagram and tell the system automatically post this to my Facebook page. And it will go out the same time. And that includes pictures and videos. Okay. And so this is a way that you can amplify the information by spreading it to 2 different platforms, because some of your people are following you on Facebook and some of your people are following you on Instagram. And so this is a great way to catch both of them without recreating the wheel as far as content. Next would be the Facebook pixel. And this is a tracking code that you would put on the website that you own. So yourcompany.com. You place this tracking code on there, and it will show you of the people that you send to the website through advertising, boosting, or traditional ads. Of the traffic that's coming to the website, X number of people have an active Facebook page or active Facebook account, I should say. And so if you're getting 1,000 hits on your website, Google is going to tell you that you're getting 1,000 hits. Facebook is going to tell you that 275 of those hits can be traced back to active Facebook users. All right. And so when it comes to that tracking code, when you link it into advertising, it really starts to amplify, because you're running an ad to send people to the website. The website is tracking if they make a purchase. And if they don't, you go back on the ad side and you can say, of the people that went to the website and didn't make a purchase, send them this secondary ad. And so we're actually going to talk about that coming up in the slide. So the third is to boost your post, which basically means that you have a post that you want to pay to have boosted past the organic movement of the robot. And boosting is fine. My advice when it comes to boosting is making sure that the post is actually going to generate revenue to cover the cost of the boost. So if it's say you posted a motivational quote, and then Facebook comes back saying, this post is performing 95% better than your other post, how about you boost it? Yeah, it may make you feel good. And yeah, if you boost it for $10, you'll get even more people to like, comment, and share, but it's not bringing in revenue for the business. So my general rule to people is that if you're going to boost, it needs to be, okay, I'm posting about a particular product. I want to boost this so that I can tie any revenue coming from that product sale back to the amount of money I use to advertise. And so you want to make sure that you're actually bouncing the revenue against the advertising dollars when it comes to boosting. And then lastly, there's the traditional advertising side of Facebook. And so those are traditional ads that are separate from the posts that are on your page. So these ads will not show on your page, but they will show to the demographic group or groups that you choose based on who you're trying to target. And so the advertising can go as little as $10 to as much as you want. The robot is more than willing to process your credit card for however much you want to spend on advertising. But this is a really great way to get out of the organic bubble of your Facebook page and to get in front of fresh eyes, new people, to advertise your product or service. And so to continue on with the advertising topic, this would be a traditional ad cycle. So your first ad, or what I call it, the top funnel ad, is to a cold audience. So you pick your demographics, women with children, between the age of X and Y within the location of XYZ who have interest in yoga. And so you pick your demographics, you have your offer. Sometimes it's a free download, like a PDF or a PDF worksheet, a PDF checklist, a PDF ebook. And what happens is that ad will show to your demographics, the people that fall within that bucket, and a certain percentage of them will click to enter in their email information in order to get the free download. And so when they do that, they turn themselves from cold to warm. That's now a warm, they drop themselves into the bucket of a warm audience because they have raised their hand saying, what you are saying and what you are talking about and what you are offering is something that I am interested in. And so within that, you would then create a second ad, which would be the middle or bottom funnel, would be a second ad that only goes to that warm audience that has the direct sale of your product or service, or would link them directly to the product page of that product or service. Because it's very rare, especially on the service side, it is very rare that someone that knows nothing about you, has never seen your name or heard anything about what you've done, it's very rare that someone from a cold audience is going to automatically sign up for your service. They need to be warmed into that. And so that's where this ad cycle comes in, because people will raise their hand to tell you that, hey, I'm interested. And once they say, hey, I'm interested, you can tell the system, hey, once they collect the free download, send them this new ad that sells XYZ. And a percentage of those people are going to be more likely to purchase because they came out of that warm audience. And so this is just restating what I just talked about, because your goal when it comes to advertising is to move your target from cold to warm to hot. Okay, so especially on the service side, you need to warm them up in order to get them to do what you want them to do. Depending on the product, you don't necessarily need to do that. Once you get real clear on your targeting, if you are selling a particular product, if you are very, very clear on your targeting, then you can move someone who's never heard of you with great copy, a great video or image, and send them to your website that has, again, great copy, images, all of the product information, and then they can purchase from there. So it just depends on the type of business that you have, which way you're going to go. And so the top funnel ad, the goal is to get them to click on the ad and to collect their email. That is the sole goal of the top funnel. Now, just know that, yeah, they're getting a free download, but you also receive their email. That's the transaction between the two of you. And so even though you're going to send them through the middle or bottom funnel ad to try and sell them, at the end of the day, you still have their email. And so if the second ad doesn't work, then you can add them to your email list for your monthly newsletter and, monthly newsletter or monthly promotion cycle that you have going on. And then you can warm them that way, because some people need a little longer to warm up than others. And then when it comes to the middle or bottom funnel ad, the goal is to get them to click, review the website that you sent them to, and to purchase. Now, I will tell you that if you are selling a product, when you send them to the website, it needs to be the product page of the product in the ad, and not the shop all page of everything that you sell. It needs to be very clear and distinct, because people need simple instructions without you actually telling them what to do. And if you send them from a particular product ad to a shop all page, they're going to get overwhelmed. And once they get overwhelmed, they're not going to do anything. They're going to bounce off your website and they're going to move on with their day. And they're never going to remember that they even started on your website. So you need to make it very clear that the product ad that you're sending out matches or links up to the exact product on your website. And then here are some ad tips when it comes to running traditional ads on the platform. Always use high-res images. Nowadays, every mobile phone out there, except for my dad's flip phone, has a great camera. And so you don't necessarily need super expensive equipment to create these images, but just make sure that they are high resolution images. Just remember to talk to and not at your people, at your target audience. And so the best way to do this, in my opinion, is that you would come up with the persona. Look at the demographic interests and everything else about who you're trying to target, and then give that person a name, or persons, depending if you have multiple groups. Give each group a name. And so when you're writing your copy, you're writing to Suzette, you're writing to Stacia, you're writing to Bertha, just whatever name. So that when the other person is reading the copy, it feels like they're having a conversation with you, and that you're not talking at or down at them. Do link to individual items and not a catalog. We just talked about that. And when it comes to the headline section of the ad, please don't enter your business name. Your business name is already going to be part of the ad because of the name of your page. That's automatically going to be part of the ad. This is valuable real estate. It's not necessary to re-enter your business name. This is where you want to try and capture their attention. Because when an ad comes up, and just think about this, when you're flipping through or thumbing through the Facebook feed on your phone, the first thing that catches your eye is the picture or the video. And then you look down underneath it for the headline, because it's the least amount of words that you have to read. And then if you're still interested, you look up and look at the text copy, right? So when it comes to that headline, it's valuable real estate. You only have a certain number of characters to put something there. Make it where it will continue to have them look at the ad. It's a great connector between the image or video to the actual text copy that you need them to read. When it comes to running your ad, I strongly suggest that you start with a small budget to test the ad, because what you want to do is find out, okay, are we targeting the right people? in the right way. You know, if your salon running an ad and you set it for both men and women, well, you don't want to spend a whole lot of money to find out that only women are clicking on your ad. So you've just wasted a lot of money showing this ad to men. So if you have a small budget, you can look to see, you know, after 5 days a day for 7 days, at the end of the week, you're out of $35. You can look at the results and say, okay, this demographic did not respond. People on desktop didn't respond. People on mobile did respond. People on iOS and Android responded. So we'll keep that. People who saw it through the audience network didn't respond, so we won't place it there anymore. But they did respond when it was on Facebook, Facebook Mobile, Instagram, and Messenger. So we'll keep that. And after spending $35, you can learn a lot about your ad so that when it comes time to run it again, you can narrow down all of that and extend how you use your money the next time. This is a little trick that no one generally tells people. When you're running a traditional ad, don't touch it for 3 days, at least 3 days, because the system needs time to find the people you want them to find and learn about how they're operating and the best way to show the ad to them. The robot's doing a lot of work in the background in order to get this ad in front of the people that you want it to be in front of. And so the general rule is that you let it lay for 3 days. And after the third day, you can start looking at it and you can start tweaking it if you want, or you can let it run for the remaining 4, especially if you're testing it out, and then just see what the results are going to be. And then, of course, tweak the audience based on the results. Again, you know, I spoke about this in the beginning. I'll say it again here. It's all about the numbers, all about the metrics. It's all about the analytics. It's not about your feelings or your opinion. It's all about the numbers. And people will tell you through their actions if they are really connecting with what you have out there, or if it's just not, if it's missing the point or the ball, you know. So you got to, when it comes to making your decisions, you got to go with the results, the metrics, the analytics, all of it. You got to go with the result. And then here are some resources for you all. As far as content, you can definitely go to feedly.com and you can put in a search for an industry or category, and it will come back with all kinds of online articles and online articles based on blogs or magazines or any digital magazines or any of that. And so you'll be able to find a decent amount of content to use for your regular posting on the platform. And then if you need training, you know, ad ideas, ad creation instructions, or even Excel instructions, you can put in Google Facebook for Business, and it'll take you to a special website that Facebook has that will give you all the training in the world about how to create a page, run a page, create an ad, things to look for when you're running an ad, how to create a group, maintenance of the group. I mean, anything and everything is there, and there's no cost to that. And then when it comes to hashtags, always use hashtags. Preferably the top hashtags for each product or service that you offer. Instagram is heavy on hashtags because that's how you search for things on the platform. And so you would use hashtags on Instagram. You can use hashtags on Facebook. They're not as impactful as they are on Instagram and Twitter, but you can use them. And if you with the cross promotion, if you're posting on Instagram and it's automatically going to Facebook, then they're automatically going to come over anyway. Generally, it's good to have roughly 10 to 13 hashtags on the Instagram side. And again, use hashtags that have that are the top hashtags if you can. And the more specific, the better. So hashtag salon is very generic, it's going to be attached to millions of a million posts. But if your hashtag Chicago salon Chicago, that narrows it down. Hashtag salon life is one of the hashtags I use for one of my clients. Spa life, spa spoiled, Chicago hairstylist. The more you can narrow it down, the better off you'll be as far as getting traction and attention to your post. And always include location tags when you can, which is the something something Chicago or Chicago something something. I like to use hashtag localish, hashtag localish Chicago, and hashtag be localish, because those are all the hashtags that the localish show that ABC has uses. And so I try to use that with some of my clients, hoping that either the show will pull in the information or the other side, which is the side that I'm leaning towards, is that anyone doing a search for localist Chicago will see our posts, and then they will heart us, comment, share, send us messages, that kind of thing. So it's a way to bring attention to our post through the hashtags created for that television show. And then the example I have here is hashtag explore Homewood. So Homewood is a suburb in the south suburbs, and their chamber or business association uses explore Homewood, hashtag explore Homewood. So all of the members try and use that hashtag whenever they're posting. And so it just brings, if you do a search for explore Homewood, you'll see all of the businesses that do that. And then because it's about Homewood, you'll learn about the businesses within Homewood. And so it's just another way to promote businesses through a shared hashtag. All right, and now we're at the Q&A.
Great, thank you so much. How do you determine the top hashtag?
You can Google hashtag finder and just put in hashtag finder as 2 words. And there's some websites out there that will help you figure that out. So you can, once you decide on a website you want to use, you can put in what the hashtag that you want to use, and then they'll tell you, depending on the website, the density, meaning how many people use it, and related hashtags to it. And so, like wellness life and yoga life and stress less and self-care, those are all related to each other in some way. So they would show up when it comes to you putting in wellness life. Many of those would show up as related hashtags that you can use as well.
Great. Are there any websites that help with writing ad copy?
Facebook has opened up the ad library, and basically what that means is that for everyone that has run an ad on the platform, you can look at the ad. They won't give you the metrics of the ad, but you can do that. And so you would just Google Facebook ad library. And then once you get to that page, you can put in a search for the industry or category that you're looking for, insurance or salon or attorney, just whatever you want to put in. And then it'll come back with all of the ads that have run that match that category search that you put in. And so then you can look at the text and the images that they use for the ad.
Should I just pay someone to work on my social media?
It depends on your time and budget. Um, yeah, it just depends on your time and budget. If you truly feel that you don't have the time to post consistently on the platforms that are needed for your business, then yes, you should consider having someone do it. But you also need to have the budget. Um, because it's not going to be I pay someone $100 and they're going to post every day on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn for me. So you just have to have that in mind that you're going to need that is going to be the that is going to need to be part of your marketing budget if you're going to go down that route.
Looking for any other questions? If anyone, oh, just one came in. What could that budget run?
That budget can run $3.99 to $6.99 depending on what you want that person to do.
If there are any other questions, please put in the chat. Well, we have thanks for the answers, which is very nice. I'll give it one more minute for any questions. Again, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. This will be recorded and it will be at www.youtube.com/ChicagoBACP. And I will actually put that in the chat for everyone right now. How will you know if it's a top funnel ad?
A top funnel ad is always the ad that they receive first. So a top funnel ad is basically going to a cold audience. So it wouldn't necessarily be the people on your email list. It would be people that are not on your email list, have never gone to your website, and you're trying to get some brand awareness in front of them.
And again, I just put in the chat, the webinar is being recorded and will be posted at www.youtube.com/ChicagoBACP. Next question, do you assist with ad design and launch?
Yes, absolutely. You can send me an email and we can have a chit chat about what you're looking for and how we can help.
I do not understand the funnels. Can you elaborate more?
Sure. So if you look at a funnel that you would use either for changing your oil, which shows you how old I am, or cooking, the top of the funnel is very wide. And so what you're doing is you're sending an ad to a very broad section of people that fit the demographics that you are trying to target. And from that group of people, a percentage of them are going to raise their hand saying they are interested in what you are talking about, your product or service. And so you're slowly coming down that funnel, and now you have a smaller group of people, and that smaller group of people again are people that have raised their hand saying I'm interested. And so then you run an ad to just those people to actually try and sell them on what you're trying to sell, what you're offering, which is the product or service. And of the people that click to at least look at the website, you now have a smaller group of people. So you're slowly coming down this funnel and you're narrowing it down to people who are generally interested and have the potential of purchasing from you. They clicked on the website, but something made them not purchase. So you would send a final ad to them, which would be on hot audience saying, trying to convert them into being a sale. And so then what falls out of the funnel are all the people that actually purchase, which would be either purchase or became a lead. And so that's the concept of the funnel.
Great. How about a dry root product?
Can I ask,
It's dry than ROUX product.
are you,
If the person who wrote that in the chat wants to
yeah, can we have more?
elaborate, please? As far as the funnels, she's saying.
Right. The funnel works, no matter the product or service, the funnel concept is the same. So at the very, very beginning, you need to determine who you're trying to target. Everyone is not your target. You need to decide between men, women, or both. You need to decide on age, location, and interests and behaviors. So if you go with just women, is she married? Is she not? Does she have children or does she not? Is she working? Is she not? Is there an interest in sports? Is there an interest in yoga? Is there an interest in GoPro? These are all things you have to look at when you're coming up with your demographics for the people you're trying to target. So the best thing to do is, if you already have sales, is to look at, of the people that bought this product, what do they have in common? 60% of them are men. Okay, well, let's start there. They're between the age of 45 and 55. Okay, that's our next layer. Where do they live? What's their location? If it's within 10 miles of your location, then that's your third level. That's how you're going to narrow down to find out who your target audience is. But the fundamentals of the funnel are the fundamentals of the funnel. The hardest part you're going to find is having to determine who's the target target audience. How are you going to define them? Because again, everyone isn't your audience. Like if you run a bakery, yes, the common theme is that everyone loves sweets. Well, guess what? I'm not into sweets. So you may not want to run it to everyone within 50 miles of your location. You're going to blow through your marketing budget with Facebook very quick. It's better to narrow it down. Who's coming in to make the orders? Who's coming in to purchase the product? What do these people look like? Male, female, age, behaviors, yada, yada, yada. So that's going to be your hardest part. And then the funnel part, the fundamentals of the funnel is the fundamentals of the funnel.
Why my IT is focused on B2B, but the subscription box is in my consumer product?
I'm not understanding the question. So your IT is leading.
I think it says, why is my IT focused on B2B, but the subscription box is in my consumer product?
Okay, then, I mean, if I'm understanding correctly, then there's a disconnect internally about who you're trying to target. If your subscription box is being purchased by consumers more so than other businesses, then either test it with businesses to see if you have the same demand. And if that's not the case, then it sounds like it's better to market the subscription box to consumers more so than businesses, if I'm understanding the question.
Okay, thanks. How would you market a subscription box or IT service if I just want to focus on the Chicago area?
Okay, so you're selling IT services. You're selling. Okay, I have a question. Are you selling IT services on a retainer, and so they pay you monthly, and they get so many hours of your service?
If the person that asked the question wants to put the details in the chat. While we're waiting for that, I do have one more question. I may have missed this part, but does this funnel process work for Facebook and Instagram alike?
Okay, so when it comes to running ads, Facebook owns Instagram. So you're going to run the ad. The ad manager is what it's called. The You're going to do it on the Facebook side. All of it's done on, well, 99% of it's done on the Facebook side. And it'll make your life easier if you use a laptop or desktop and you open up Ad Manager and you go through the process of creating your ad. What's going to happen when you do that, they're going to ask you for placement, meaning where do you want this ad to be placed? And the default is everywhere. And in Facebook speak, that means Facebook, Facebook Mobile, Instagram, and Messenger, and the third-party network or third-party audience network. And so all of those make sense except the third-party audience network. That particular group means that your ad will show up on websites that match your criteria. Facebook has a connection with a number of websites across the world, universe, galaxy, and if the category of the website matches the demographics of your ad, then your ad will show up on that website as well. And so the beautiful piece is that it's a one-stop shop in order to make all of that happen. And when it comes to looking at the results, you can look at the results based on placement to say, okay, this really worked on Instagram, but it didn't work on the audience network. So next time when we tweak it, we're not going to use the audience network. This really worked with Messenger, but it didn't work on main Facebook news feeds. So let's not run it on the news feed. Or it worked for Facebook mobile, but it didn't work for desktop Facebook. So we're not going to run it on the desktop. We'll only run it on mobile. And you kind of see that when you look at your own news feed. If you compare your Facebook news feed when you're looking at it from a desktop versus your news feed on your phone, you'll notice that you'll see way more ads showing up in your news feed when you're looking at it from your phone than if you're looking at it from a desktop, because they know over 95% of the people are looking at the platform from their phone. So instead of spending the ad dollars to have that ad show up on the desktop, they're focusing their money on the mobile side.
Great, thank you. Looking to see if there's any further questions. Great tips, thank you. Are there any benefits to advertising on Facebook versus Google?
Well, it's two different types of advertising. When it comes to advertising on Google, and I'm not saying advertising on Google is bad. You just got to know the difference. So advertising on Google is based on someone using a particular search term in order for your ad to show up. Advertising on Facebook, there's no action of the person. If they fall within the demographic buckets that you have created for your ad, they're going to be shown the ad. They don't have to search for they don't have to put in a search term. They don't have to like particular pages. They don't have to do any of that. As long as they fit the demographics, they will be served up the ad. So that's the difference between the two.
Okay, thanks. Can I add on WhatsApp?
I don't believe WhatsApp is one of the options when you're in the Facebook ad manager. I was just in there a few days ago and WhatsApp was not there. So if you wanted to advertise on there, you would probably have to do it directly through WhatsApp.
Again, a question on the recording. You could get a copy of the webinar recording. It'll be posted on BACP's YouTube page at www.youtube.com/Chicago BACP. You're welcome. Just looking for any last questions. If anyone has any last questions, if they can please put them in the chat. It looks like we are done with questions, Stephanie. Thank you so much for your time and all this great information. We appreciate you, and everyone make sure you have a great and safe night.